Well, evidently, someone has told my cousin about my assorted videos, although she's not on Facebook, her husband is. I'm the only member of a very large extended family who's actually not one of his Facebook friends. Um, his Facebook friends include, let me see, I think my daughter's husband, which is to say his wife's cousin's daughter's husband, but they don't include me. Anyway, that's because he doesn't go on Facebook very often, just often enough to also be Facebook friends with his wife's other cousin's son-in-law and everyone else remotely connected to his wife's family, except for me. It's funny what some people think, including Christians, can make up for that kind of thing. Nothing can. Anyway, it has apparently rather obviously come to her attention that I have had nothing good to say about Christianity this year. Up until the 19th of December last year, up to and including, I was not so hostile to it, but since January I've been extremely hostile to it. Exacerbated to the nth degree by my brother's wife. Anyway, my cousin came on the phone and told me that having opened the door to God, I couldn't shut it again. Well, yes, I can, actually. But I didn't even ever say I don't believe in God. I said I don't believe in religion, which is not the same thing. There may be a God. You can't prove it either way. There may be, there may not. I have my own fantasies, thank you, that keep me going and have done for many years. I could write a book about the fairy tales I've made up for myself to get me to sleep at night for the last decades. They don't include a God or a Jesus or an Allah or any of that crap. But as I say, God may or may not exist. I did get myself christened, indeed I did. I think I've explained that was to try to undo my father's Satanism at a time when I was stupid enough to see Satanism and Christianity as binary opposites, which of course they are not, in point of fact. Anyone can be a Satanist. Most of the Satanists I know of do invert the Bible and incorporate the 666 and do what my father didn't, invert crucifixes and invert birthdays and invert Easter and invert Christmas. Well, that was what my father did. That's what he did. So yes, I did get myself christened just in some kind of crazy attempt to try and get him out of my system. And it does mean a great deal to me that my dog Flossie is buried as near as I can get a dog to consecrated ground. And she does have a cross marking her grave, if no one has ripped it out of the ground again and flung it face down in the mud, which is how I found it when I last was able to get there, which was last September. I wouldn't want anyone to run away with the idea that I hate Christians. I merely now more or less hate Christianity, which is not the same thing. And yet, and as a tutor of mine would have said, a highly intelligent woman who became vice president of Southampton University at one time, as she would have said, leave the contradictions in, they don't matter. It's important to me that my dog Flossie is near consecrated ground with a cross marking her place, marking her grave, because if ever anyone deserves sainthood, it's that dog. Much more than any human I've ever known in my life. This is heaven. She deserves to be in it more than any person I've ever met. Human, that is, person. She was a person. She was merely a canine person. Not merely, she was a canine person. Very much a personality. This is heaven. She deserves to be in it. I would actually quite like to buy into this fantasy of heaven and hell. Because if there was one, if those places existed, Flossie would be in heaven, and my parents would be toasty in hell. In my father's case, for approximately 1,000 lifetimes. And that's just for what he did to me. And if I include all the other people he harmed, either sexually or by murdering them even, make it a few thousand lifetimes. The idea that he is burning in hell would give me great comfort. I wish I could believe it. And I wish I could believe in heaven, as I've said, so that my dog Flossie would be there. But I can't. Because they're a Christian invention. I think Islam has some version or another. But, when you hear about the men going there and getting 72 virgins, although apparently that's a mistranslation, it actually read 72 raisins. And the women, if they get there at all, don't get anything very much. I think, fuck that. Take your silly fairy tales. They're not my kind. They're not the kind I like. I like fairy tales with happy endings. So, whether I shut the door in the face of this God who may or may not exist is my business. I can if I wish, and not if I don't. Whether I shut the door on Christianity is also my business, and I have shut the door on Christianity. I want nothing at all to do with it for me. Not for me, only for my dog Flossie.